My name is Giovannini, and I'm a transformational speaker and author of 13 books, including A Whole New Life, which was recently released in the US as well. So in this inspirational New Life series, I will be chatting with inspiring men and women who have discovered how to harness the power of change and create a whole new life that is truly fulfilling and authentic to who they are. And today, I'm super excited and honored to bring to you Dr. Frank Lipman. Dr. Lipman is a pioneer and leader in functional and integrative medicine. He doesn't see health as simply the absence of disease. Rather, he sees health as a total state of physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and social well-being. And to achieve meaningful long-term health and wellness, Dr. Lipman believes that there needs to be a holistic transformation. And when you achieve a whole new health, you open the doorway to a whole new life. So without further ado, let's chat with Dr. Lipman to find out why a holistic transformation is the key to long-term health and happiness. So welcome, Dr. Lipman.
Thank you for having me.
It's really a pleasure. You're in New York, right?
I'm in New York City. Yep.
Fantastic. So from Bologna, I'm in Bologna, Italy, to New York. So, Dr. Lipman, what's the biggest health myth?
Well, I think these days, if you would have asked me something 5 or 10 years ago, I would have told you something about nutrition, about food. But I think you're asking me today, this morning, I would say it's sleep. That sleep isn't an important aspect of our health, and sleep is you don't need sleep really, because there's so much stuff you got to do during the day. So I think the idea that sleep isn't a key pillar of health is probably the biggest myth that I see anyway in New York.
Yeah, well, not only in New York, in New York for sure, because it's a very alive city, you know, but actually I find it even here in Italy, and actually I find it even in Asia, because I live part of the year in Thailand. Actually, my main residence is in Thailand, and part of the year in Bali. Well, Bali, it's a little different still. It's more, you know, quiet lifestyle is more, but all over Asia, it's really, you know, very the idea there is run, you know, to achieve results, and you don't need sleep. Exactly. So
right. I think what's happened is this yang culture, all this yang and not enough yin. This yang Western culture is taking over the world. And you know, I've been to Bali, and Bali is one of those few places that sort of respect the old traditions and the idea that we as human beings are a microcosm of the macrocosm, and they respect the cycles of nature and day and night. So they're a little bit different. That what I was in Bali 20 years ago. It's probably changed a lot. But I think that's part of the problem. I think we are ignoring this idea that we are part of nature and their body rhythms that we need to respect. And we're not doing that. We pay more attention to the clocks on our wrists than the clocks in our bodies.
Yes, and so we end up not listening to our bodies.
Yep.
And this idea of productivity, you know, you need to be productive, which is okay, but I think there's a way to be productive and at the same time respecting your natural rhythm and your body. So
sure. It's a balance, and I think actually talking about being productive, if you don't sleep enough or well enough, you're not going to be as productive as you can be. So people think that they need to go to bed late because either they're working or they're online or whatever they're doing to stay up late, and they get up early even to go to the gym, but they get up early to work or go to the gym, and they don't take sleep seriously enough, and they're going to be less productive. They're going to be more moody. They're going to be more depressed. And actually, there's more chance of premature death, hypertension, obesity, diabetes, and on and on and on. Sleep is key to health.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was reading the other day some researchers, because of course, also for my book, A Whole New Life, you know, I mean, my background is in psychology, but at the same time, it's not just psychology. You know, if you have to look at it at an holistic way, I mean, there's also what you can do to make your life better, you know, to have enough energy to create the transformations you want in your life. And I was reading some researchers, and they, in this paper, they said that if you don't sleep if you just sleep 6 hours for 3-4 days, your cognitive capacities are as impaired as you would have be drunk, is if you would be drunk, you know, if you would have consumed alcohol. So
exactly. And even if there was a paper that just came out last week that they found that women who don't sleep in the dark, who have artificial light on at night, actually it affects them and they're more prone to obesity too. So, you know, for, you know, women worry about weight in America anyway, I'm sure everywhere. But, you know, sleep is probably one of those factors that's ignored in weight metabolism, because if you don't sleep enough, your cortisol levels will go up, and that'll cue your body to store fat. If you don't sleep enough, your hunger hormones increase and your satiation hormones decrease. And a lack of sleep also leads to insulin resistance. All of this leads to weight gain. So for women who, in particular, who worried about weight, sleep is probably one of the most important factors.
Wow, this is very, very interesting. You know, sometimes as women, I mean, we tend to go on drastic diets, and instead just sleeping would be much better.
Exactly.
So why do you think people find it so difficult, you know, to lead a healthy lifestyle, like to sleep, to stick to healthy eating, exercising?
Well, I think part of the problem is the default choices in our society are so unhealthy. You know, I'm speaking for America. It's a little bit different in Europe, although I think it's changing there too. But the default choices here are so unhealthy. So you walk down the street, it's very hard to find healthy food. You go to the supermarket, most of the supermarket is full of unhealthy food. I think big food, big agriculture, big pharma, all of these big industries, big corporations have taken over our culture, and they've put profit before health. You know, there's a wonderful American philosopher, farmer named Wendell Berry, who probably most people don't know about it. And he says, we are fed by a food industry that pays no attention to our health, and treated by a health industry that pays no attention to our food. So this is the problem. People don't know better, and the choices we have, the automatic choices we have, are unhealthy. So to be healthy, you need to pay a lot of attention, and it needs a lot of effort. So, you know, I think there's a personal issue. You know, obviously, why can't people do it? And I think that's also complicated by the fact that, you know, with all this crap in the food, we become addicted to sugar and processed foods. That's why they make them addictive. But then there's this whole cultural or society aspect where big food and all these big corporations have put profits before our health, and it's difficult. You got to pay attention, and you've got to want to be healthy. That's the reality.
Yeah, so we really need to take take care of our own life, take care of our own lifestyle, and be aware of what we eat, what we do, and not just go on automatic pilot, which is, you know, so easy to just go on automatic pilot. But instead, it's very risky, because it's not what you eat once, but if you eat every day, or if you miss your exercise once, but but it's the habits that then become unhealthy habits. So
Yes,
yeah,
it's all about habits. You know, there's a saying you've probably heard as a psychologist: neurons that fire together wire together. So if you do something over and over again, it becomes a habit. And the brain loves habits because it doesn't have to think. So if you keep doing something over and over and it becomes a habit, then it becomes automatic. But you know, to get people to create healthy habits is often hard. And you know, actually, my latest book called "How to Be Well" is all about how to get people to create healthy habits. And you know, there's a saying, you should know it as an Italian: Rome wasn't built in a day. You know, these habits take time, and you need, you know, you do one thing and you make changes, and it becomes a habit, and it inspires you or starts creating other healthier habits. Because once you start feeling better, you want to feel even better. So it's all about habits.
All about habits. I totally agree. Also, in my method, we work a lot on, you know, creating healthy habits, because at that point, when you've created a habit, you don't really have, you know, you don't need to spend energy or time in deciding, shall I eat healthy or not? It becomes natural. You know, the healthy choices are natural. But I totally agree. You have to get to that point. And what I found, I mean, useful is to start with tiny things, tiny changes, tiny habits, like even, you know, a salad before your meal, just a little thing, you know, instead of changing everything all at once, or 5 minutes walk. Better than, okay, it's not much, but it's better than nothing, you know. And start slowly and create habits, and then you will feel better, and then that will bring you to a new habit, etc., etc.
I agree 100%.
So if there's anyone listening who is struggling with health issues, what would be the one message you would like them to walk away with from this session?
It would be that you are your best doctor. You need to take charge of your own health. You know, I'm trained as a Western doctor too, and our training is very limited. Our training is in crisis care medicine. When you're acutely ill and you're seriously sick with an infection, you need an antibiotic, or you break a bone, or you need surgery. That's when Western medicine is great. But otherwise, we are not trained to deal with the common chronic problems that most people suffer with today. We're not trained in nutrition. We're not trained in lifestyle medicine. So you, as the patient, needs to really take charge of your own health. So you need to get educated and understand where the medical system is coming from, and don't, you know, give your power away and think that the doctors know more about your body than you do. I think, you know, once you understand that, that's very empowering, and it'll, you know, lead you to eating better, maybe moving your body more, sleeping more, or taking sleep more seriously, you know, learning to relax, meditate, whatever it is. So I think taking charge of your own, you tell me one thing. So if it's one thing, I'd say take charge of your own health.
Yeah, thank you. It was, I mean, so important to listen to this, especially, you know, said by a doctor, by a medical doctor, because I totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, Western medicine is fantastic for acute cases, or, I mean, in case of breaking a bone, and there, I mean, it has answers. But for chronic diseases, it doesn't have all the answers. So, and especially sometimes it gives medicines that are on the, I mean, that have big side effects. So it's really important. And anyway, the idea to heal, in order to heal, we really need to take care of our own health. And I also like very much the idea that is not just, we are not just looking at the absence of, you know, of diseases, but health is much more than that. Is being vital, having a lot of energy, having your cognitive capacities at their best, and flexible body. And in order to do that, to reach that, we need to really take care of our own body. So yeah, thank you very much for your wisdom, for sharing your knowledge. It is very important. I hope that there are more and more doctors, medical doctors like you in the world.
They are. They're starting. We're training more and more. The new generation seems to be different. You know, we much older. It's in our generation, less so. But in America, anyway, I don't know about. But I would imagine. I think the new generation is changing, and they're more aware. They're more aware of the limitations of Western medicine, and they're exploring other modalities. You know, there's a great metaphor I use all the time when I give talks, or even when I speak to patients. The way we see the body in Western medicine, I compare it to a car. When you're driving your car and the oil light goes on, you don't put a Band-Aid over the oil light. You see why the oil light went on. With our bodies, when the oil light goes on, when you have a symptom, when you have a headache, or you getting bloated, or you're tired, in Western medicine, we just put a Band-Aid over it. We give you a drug. You've got a headache, here's aspirin. You got heartburn, here's a drug for heartburn. So we just suppress the symptoms. Whereas it's important to realize that the oil light going on is that it's a pointer to your body that there's some imbalance that you need to try and correct the imbalance. Because if you just put a Band-Aid over the oil light, it's going to pop up somewhere else. So treat your body as well as you treat your car.
Yeah, at least as well as you treat your car. Yeah. Yes. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Lipman. So if you're struggling with a health issue, I hope that this masterclass has given you useful information, and I hope that it is possible to create a whole new life in that area as well. And you can find Dr. Frank Lipman at bewell.com.
No, not bewell. No.
Oh, okay.
drfranklipman.com. No more bewell.
Okay.
Dr. Frank, drfranklipman.com.
Okay, so Dr. Frank Lipman, drlipman.com.
drfranklipman.com, yeah.
Okay. And if you read English, he has also released a very interesting book. So you can, of course, and they can find your book in your website, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Actually, it's in German too. They're bringing it out in Germany. I have other books in all different language, but my latest book I know is definitely in Germany soon. How to Be Well.
Okay.
I have other books in all languages, but I don't know what the names are overseas.
We'll check out if they are also in Italian. Thank you, Dr. Lipman.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you're ready to achieve holistic well-being, know that the journey to transformation does not have to be difficult or lonely. So you can join my 5-day transformation, join my 5-day Transform One Habit Challenge to kickstart the changes that will transform your health and happiness. So you can just click on the link below the video and you'll see the One Habit Challenge. And I'll see you on the next episode of this inspirational New Life series. Thank you very much.
Thank you.